Today on Wolfpack Weekdays, we're going to be talking about the WWE Draft 2016. Welcome back to Wolfpack Weekdays. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about the 2016 WWE Draft. And I intended to do this yesterday, but obviously I was sick from the video you guys saw. So thank you guys for understanding that I was sick those a couple days. But I'm back and I'm going to talk about it now. And basically, the draft is going to change everything. So there's a lot to cover in this video. And hopefully I can get through it all pretty concisely. So the draft was Tuesday, July 19th on the first ever SmackDown Live. And, well, a lot of things happened. Basically, before that, they said Daniel Bryan's the GM for SmackDown. Mick Foley, which was actually a pretty big surprise, is the GM for Raw. They're going to be running the show while the commissioners are Shane for SmackDown, Stephanie for Raw. That's basically what you need to know for backstory. And the only other thing is that there's a triple threat match between Roman Reigns, who is out because he did a bunch of drugs. Good job, man. Dean Ambrose, who's the current WWE champion, and Seth Rollins. So basically the Shield is facing each other at Battleground, and that's what a huge storyline is what they were going to pick, who they were going to go with, who they thought was going to win the title, basically. And that leads into basically the first two picks. So the big news of the night. Seth Rollins goes first round for Raw. Not surprising at all. Stephanie is backing him. That storyline's there for him to be chosen for Raw. He's supposed to be the guy who's going to win it and bring it back. But what happens after that is second pick is Dean Ambrose, who is the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he goes to SmackDown. So they're on separate brands and they're facing each other in this triple threat match, and it's this whole storyline about which brand is going to have it and stuff. They're repeating a lot of storylines with this draft stuff when they used to do like the SmackDown versus Raw thing and all the time. And I mean, there was whole games dedicated to this whole idea that they pushed for years, which was that the brands are separate and they're rivals, which doesn't really make any sense because they would cross people around constantly and stuff. That was the big two picks, but besides that, they put John Cena and Randy Orton onto SmackDown, which tells me that they're going to put the more seasoned veterans that they know people will watch for onto SmackDown and puts them into some interesting storylines. They also put AJ Styles on there, which I found interesting. So they're going to keep going with this AJ versus John Cena storyline, but minus the club, because Gallows and Anderson are on Raw, so they're trying to completely split the two brands, and it's really odd to me, but it is interesting. And they actually picked Reigns to go to Raw too, so that means Rollins and Reigns are probably going to have a rivalry. I don't know what they're going to do with Ambrose. I hope they keep him as the champion because I'm sure he's sold tons and tons of merchandise as the champion. I mean, he is one of the fan favorites, so it would make sense to keep him on the title. Not so surprising was Charlotte getting picked for Raw, Sasha Banks getting picked for Raw, and then them taking Natalya and Becky Lynch and throwing them onto SmackDown. They're keeping the main two big names, or three names actually, because Paige got picked for Raw too, and throwing the rest onto SmackDown. It seems like what they're going to be doing now is that it's going to go NXT, and then if you're really ready, you're going to go to Raw, and if you're not so ready, you're going to go to SmackDown. So that's kind of what it seemed to be with the whole NXT picks, because I was quite happy with one. I was actually really, really excited to find out that he got picked by Raw. Finn Balor, one of my favorite wrestlers right now and of all time. He is a fantastic showman. He worked on his mouthpiece skills. He's got it all now, and he deserves to be in the upper echelon of WWE. So I was quite happy to see him go basically the fifth pick for Raw. That was cool. It means that they have faith in him to do well, and they're gonna be really pushing him, I'm sure, and that's awesome. And there was other picks like Carmella got picked up for SmackDown, Alexa Bliss got picked up for SmackDown, American Alpha, which is the two former college wrestlers tag team in NXT, they got picked up for SmackDown. And, oh, God, yeah, I'm not going to talk about him yet, but I was quite happy. The ones they did pick, I was quite happy with, except for a couple, and that's where I'm going to go into with the upsetting part of it. See, I was quite upset that they didn't pick one person in particular, but I'm going to cover that after this. They went with picking Nia Jax for Raw. I don't think she's even close to ready for that. I don't even think she's ready for SmackDown, honestly. But apparently they have some kind of idea for her, so they're going to be pushing her. But the stupidest pick, I think, was Mojo Rawley. How the hell can you justify giving him a full-fledged WWE contract? That man has 3 moves, and he is his thing, his whatever you call it. I can't think about it. What is it? Stick. His shtick is just terrible. The hype bros and stuff, that was a waste of time. And I'm glad that they're kind of pushing Zack Ryder in a different direction with the U.S. title match coming up on Battleground against Rusev. And we'll see what happens, but man, I was not happy with that pick. But the thing that upset me the most out of everything in the draft is that they didn't pick Bayley. Bayley's following down in NXT is massive. She had some of the best moments of the year, best matches of the year, and was all around deserving to get called up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's injured, if I may have missed something, but I'm pretty sure she's wrestling right now, and they didn't pick her. So I'm really confused on why that is, and I was really disappointed to see her go undrafted. That made me really upset, actually. I think she's ready to come out of NXT. I think if they're gonna push a storyline with her later on, that makes sense, but that was disappointing. That was really disappointing. I think she's ready. I think she deserves it. I think that she would be awesome on the main roster, and it would give a lot of the I don't know. It would give the women's division something new. And, I mean, we've been doing the same thing on repeat for a couple months now. And it's starting to get back to stale, which is sad. But that's just my opinion, guys. That's my reaction to it. Kind of not well formatted, but I was sick the past 2 days. So give me a little bit of a break. The next video for Friday will be better. I mean, I'm constantly swallowing spit because I'm still really, really dehydrated. So I'm doing my best here, guys. But yeah, now I'm just going to cover what I think is going to happen now. I've already done it in little bits, but the big thing is I think they're going to end up trying to push a SmackDown versus Raw storyline again, which is fine, but I don't want it to be as cheesy as it was with like the Survivor Series and bragging rights and the stupid pay-per-views that they would do. It needs to be something more like bringing those secondary titles, the Intercontinental and the U.S. title, to a bigger role where they're trying to control the titles on the brand. It's not so much that every brand has the big title, where like it was with the World Heavyweight and the WWE. It should be something more like the WWE goes back and forth, not often, but goes back and forth. And then the Intercontinental and United States are hotly contested between the two brands. And the women's title can be the same as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, as it can go back and forth, but it's got to be highly contested, and it's got to have good storylines. So there's a lot of things they can do, but I hope they just don't fall back on old stories. Because if they fell back on old stories, then we might as well pull out our old PS2 games of SmackDown vs. Raw and play through those stories, because it's basically the same thing. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So hopefully they do something cool with it. I'm excited to see what happens. I really like the fact that Shane's back in the creative control end of it. Ever since he kind of rejoined the company, things have been looking up, and the stories have been getting way better. Like the matches themselves have been getting better because they're giving people more leeway, and that's awesome. So, oh, here, let me throw this in there. Here, let me rant real quick. Okay. One of the coolest finishers that has ever existed, in my opinion, and was one of the coolest things to come out of the new generation of superstars that came through that I started watching again because of, basically, The Shield. CM Punk and The Shield. Like, I started watching again when CM Punk started getting popular again, and he was doing the Straight Edge Society thing because I thought it was hilarious. And then The Shield happened, and it hooked me again. It hooked me to WWE again, and my favorite finisher that was out there was the curb stomp by Seth Rollins. That was fantastic. It was great. It looked impactful. It was great. But they banned it because they were worried about head injuries. Apparently somebody got hurt, and they decided to ban it, which is complete crap. You can't protect everybody. It's his own fault if he doesn't take the bump right. So I was disappointed with that, and I just wanted to say that because I haven't done a WWE video yet, and I had to say it eventually, and it was driving me nuts. So damn it, WWE, you took away one of my favorite finishers. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. So if you guys are WWE fans, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the draft with the hashtag WPW. And that's it for today. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. If you have any suggestions for the show, use the hashtag WPW down in the comments or on Twitter. And your ideas might just get featured on the show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.